everybody? I am Drew Duncan. Don't forget, you can always find me on social media. That is at Drew Duncan Radio across the board on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And, of course, I am searchable on YouTube. Simply look for Drew Duncan. And now I am on Patreon. Simply look for Drew Duncan Radio. Chargers, Chiefs, got to tell you, just not impressed. Not impressed at all. I'm not impressed. I said earlier on my program that I wanted to see the Kansas City Chiefs assert their dominance in this football game, and they didn't do it. You force 4 turnovers, ultimately the last one that won the football game, and the alleged best offense in the NFL coming into this season can only muster 24 points. The game should have been 50-0, predicated on that alone. And the real reality of it is that the LA Chargers actually outgained the Kansas City Chiefs, especially in the first half when they had over 300 yards. There is nobody in the AFC West that is in firm control. And I don't know that I trust anybody in the AFC West, like I said earlier, to win a playoff game. You're going to take the Raiders? They just celebrated a huge comeback victory over the 0-10 Cincinnati Bengals. Let that sink in. Raider Nation is back. No, it's not. You're a 6-4 football team that has yet to beat anybody with a winning record outside of your division. You've lost to the Colts. You've lost to the Texans. No. The Kansas City Chiefs, outside of their division, 2-3. They, too, have lost to the Colts. They, too, have lost to the Texans. They lost to the Green Bay Packers. Broncos, like I stated, they're an 0-5 football team outside of the division. I mean, there's nobody in the AFC West who has impressed me, who has taken over, who has shown dominance. Doesn't exist right now. And look, I get it. There's a number of things, Tyreek Hill being in and out, but you still have Sammy Watkins, you still have Travis Kelce, you still have Shady McCoy. I mean, you've got Patrick Mahomes. Come on, this is not a weaponless offense here, okay? If you're going to force 4 interceptions from Phillip Rivers, a guy who's having the worst stretch that he's ever had in his career since 2004, if you're going to force this many turnovers from him, you've got to be able to score more points. That last drive shouldn't have mattered. It didn't need to happen. It shouldn't have even existed, to be honest with you. It should have been the Kansas City Chiefs taking a knee, celebrating a 45-point win. I would love to be able to give credit to the LA Chargers defense. And on some level, I want to. But I think that right now we need to be honest with ourselves about the Chiefs. This is something that I've been talking about. They have a spectacular quarter, and that's about it. In the first half, they didn't play very good football at all. Matter of fact, both teams played exceptionally sloppy football to start that game, just to be honest with you. I mean, that was difficult to watch. This game was difficult to watch to me, and if you are a Chiefs fan, you should be a little concerned, at least a little. And if you're an LA Charger fan, well, you know that the playoffs are just probably not in the cards anymore. You're a 4-7 football team, and going forward, it just doesn't look like you're going to be able to compete with anybody that is within your division and that you'll be able to gain a playoff spot from. So you're no longer on the outside looking in. You're probably done. And besides, do you really think that the LA Chargers will be able to compete with the Baltimore Ravens at this juncture, the New England Patriots, the Colts, the Bills, and that defense that they have over there? Let's be realistic about it. I mean, at this point, watching this football game, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be able to compete with anybody? The Bills defense? The Patriots? Come on. I just think that we need to be real about it. I think going into this season, we all had very high expectations for the Kansas City Chiefs, and to me, they're just not meeting them. Well, they won the game. Okay, great. A lot of teams win games that they're not supposed to win. Look, if you turn the football over as many times as the Chargers did tonight, you don't deserve to win the game. But conversely, sometimes you wonder if the team that forced those turnovers was really worthy of winning the football game themselves when they didn't play exactly good football. I wanted dominance. I wanted clear cut. Didn't get it. I mean, right now in the AFC, really, would you take the Chiefs as one of your top, let's say, 5 teams? In the NFL, would you take the Kansas City Chiefs as, say, one of your top 5 teams? Look, I think that the Ravens are better. I think that the Seahawks are better. Kansas City beat Baltimore. Folks, that was weeks ago. And like I said, Baltimore, I think, was still trying to figure out a little bit of their identity. I think now they know what their identity is, and they are a very different football team. And that's just the real reality of it. And any coach will tell you that is into November and December when you start playing your best football. October, you really start peaking a little bit. November and December, that's when we find out who you are. I've always said that in college football, it's 4 weeks. In the NFL, it's 6 to 8. And we're starting to see every one of these teams really begin to separate themselves from the pack. They lost to the Green Bay Packers. Do you think that they're better than Green Bay? They beat Minnesota without Patrick Mahomes, but I wonder if they would be able to do it again if they were to meet in a Super Bowl situation. I'm just not seeing the favorable matchups. I'm not sure about the play calling. You got Shady McCoy, like I said weeks ago, was always holding the ball out like it's a damn antique vase or something, like it's a loaf of bread. There's just nobody in this division right now that, to me, when I look at them, I go, that's a damn good football team. They could easily go deep into the playoffs. They could easily make it to the AFC Championship game. Right now, I look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and I just see a bunch of highlight reels. But a lot of teams are able to provide highlight reels. I mean, come on, man. The L.A. Lakers didn't even make the playoffs last year, but we had plenty of LeBron James highlights, didn't we? There are plenty of teams who don't go very far, but we have plenty of highlights from them. And it's even easier in the NFL as opposed to maybe, let's say, college football or college basketball, because you've got 32 teams as opposed to the 130 teams that are in Division I college football. There's a lot of highlight reels out there from teams and players that will never really go anywhere, but they can be on a highlight reel. So that stuff goes away. At some point, I think we need to lose how enamored we are with the capability of Patrick Mahomes and understand that consistency in this league is what separates you from everybody else. Tom Brady has been consistent. That's why he is where he is. He's not some flash in the pan. He's not a guy that was there for 3 years and then we found out eventually couldn't get it done. He's none of those things. He proved that he is a winner year in and year out, and we're just not seeing that right now with the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if it's play calling. I know this much. They are inconsistent in every facet of the game. Offensively, defensively, whatever the case may be. So regardless of that, they do get the win. Not exactly what I was looking for, though, and if I'm Chief fan, I'm a little disappointed. Guys, I am Drew Duncan. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Drew Duncan Radio. Additionally, you can find me on Patreon, Drew Duncan Radio, and, of course, YouTube is simply Drew Duncan. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.